Dear students, today our topic is properties of alcohols. First of all, we will deal with the physical properties of alcohol. Physical properties of alcohols. The lower members of the alcohols are colorless liquids having characteristic smell and a burning taste, whereas the higher members of the alcohols are colorless, odorless, wax-like substances, wax-like solids. So, the first physical property of the alcohols is the lower members of the alcohols are colorless liquids having characteristic smell and a burning taste, whereas the higher members of the alcohols having more than 12 carbon atoms are colorless, odorless, wax-like solids. Number 2, they exist as associated molecules having intermolecular hydrogen bonds due to large difference in electronegativity of hydrogen and oxygen. As a result, OH bond is strongly polar and forms hydrogen bonds. तो second property क्या है? Second property है the alcohols exist as associated molecules having intermolecular hydrogen bonds due to the large difference and electronegativity of hydrogen and oxygen. As a result of it, oxygen-hydrogen bond, that is OH bond, is strongly polar and form hydrogen bonds. तो तीसरी property ये है, physical property ये है, they have low boiling points. But with the increase in the molecular mass, the boiling point keeps on increasing. तो आपने ये these are the physical properties of alcohol. तो पहली property क्या है? पहली property ये है the lower members of the alcohols are colorless liquids having burning taste, whereas the higher members of the alcohols having more than 12 carbon atoms are colorless, odorless, wax-like liquids. They are wax-like liquids. Then they exist as associated molecules having intermolecular hydrogen bonds due to the large difference in the electronegativity of hydrogen and oxygen. As a result, the OH bond becomes strongly polar and forms hydrogen bond. So, तीसरी property क्या है? They have low boiling points, but with the increase in the molecular mass, the boiling point goes on increasing. These are the physical properties of the alcohols. Now, chemical properties of alcohols. Chemical properties of alcohols. Chemical properties of alcohols. Chemical properties of alcohols. सबसे पहले है acidic nature. Alcohols are weakly acidic in nature. Therefore, they react with the active metals like sodium, potassium, aluminium, magnesium, and strong to form corresponding alkoxides. Alcohols are weakly acidic in nature. Therefore, they react with the active metals like sodium, potassium, aluminium, magnesium, etc. to form alkoxides with the liberation of hydrogen. Gas. For example, we write the alcohols ROH plus metal. They react with the active metals to form ROM plus H2. Twice, this is balance. ROM, ये हो गया metal alkoxide. This is hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas. So this is metal. Alcohol. Alcohols are weakly acidic. Therefore, they react with the active metals to form corresponding alkoxides with the liberation of hydrogen gas. With the liberation of hydrogen. So, हम लिखेंगे इधर CH3OH. This is called methyl alcohol. Plus 2 times Na. This is called active metal sodium. Methyl alcohol. Methyl alcohol. This is sodium. It gives us CH3ONA. This is called metal alkoxide. This is called sodium methoxide. Sodium methoxide plus hydrogen. Plus hydrogen. Similarly, C2H5OH. This is called ethyl alcohol. Plus, let us take sodium. It gives C2H5ONA. इसको हम लिखेंगे सोडियम एथॉक्साइड. सोडियम एथॉक्साइड प्लस हाइड्रोजन. तो यह है एसिडिक नेचर ऑफ alcohol. Alcohols are weakly acidic in nature. Therefore, they react with the active metals like sodium. Similarly, with potassium, it will give potassium ethoxide. यहाँ ये देगा potassium methoxide. इसी तरह aluminum ethoxide, ammonium methoxide. They react with the metals to form corresponding alkoxides with the liberation of hydrogen. With the liberation of hydrogen. The acidic nature of the alcohols is due to the presence of OH bond. The acidic nature of alcohols is due to the presence of OH bond. Since we know that oxygen is more electronegative than hydrogen, we know that the oxygen is more electronegative than hydrogen. Therefore, the shear pair of electrons is drawn more towards the oxygen. As a result of it, the bond between oxygen and hydrogen becomes weak, and hydrogen is released as a proton, which shows that alcohols are acidic in nature. तो आपको समझ आ गया, यानी the acidic nature of alcohols is due to the presence of polar OH bonds. As the result of it, the oxygen is more electronegative than the hydrogen. Therefore, the shear pair of electrons between oxygen and hydrogen is drawn more towards the oxygen, and the bond between oxygen and hydrogen becomes weak, which releases the hydrogen as a proton and shows that alcohols are acidic in nature. This is the acidic nature of alcohols. क्या है? Reaction with metal hydrides. Metal hydrides. Reaction with metal hydrides. That is MH. M metal, H हो गया hydride. Alcohols react with metal hydrides to form corresponding alkoxides with the liberation of hydrogen. With the liberation of hydrogen. For example, CH3OH means methyl alcohol or methanol plus sodium hydride. It gives CH3ONA plus hydrogen. CH3ONA plus hydrogen. C2H5OH plus KH. KH हो गया पोटेशियम हाइड्राइड. इसको लिखेंगे हम पहले सोडियम हाइड्राइड. इसको लिखेंगे पोटेशियम हाइड्राइड. तो इथाइल अल्कोहल इसको लिखिए मिथाइल अल्कोहल, तो ये देगा C2H5ONA, इसको कहेंगे पोटाशियम एथोक्साइड, पोटाशियम एथोक्साइड, पोटाशियम एथोक्साइड, तो प्लस निकलेगा हाइड्रोजन भी। वो अल्कोहल इज reactive with the metal hydrides, alcohol is reactive with the metal hydrides to form corresponding alkoxides, to form corresponding alkoxide with the liberation of hydrogen gas. वो methyl alcohol plus sodium hydride gives sodium methoxide plus hydrogen. Ethyl alcohol plus potassium hydride gives potassium ethoxide plus hydrogen. तो तीसरी रिएक्शन हमारी है रिएक्शन विद कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड्स। Reaction with carboxylic acid. The general formula for the carboxylic acid is RCOOH. This is the general formula of carboxylic acid. Reaction with carboxylic acid is general formula of carboxylic RCOH. अगर हम इसको CH3COOH मिला देंगे तो हम इसको कहेंगे एसिटिक एसिड। अगर इसको HCOOH लिखेंगे तो इसको कहेंगे हम फॉर्मिक एसिड। अगर C6H5COOH हम इसको लिखेंगे तो हम इसको लिखेंगे बेंजोइक एसिड, बेंजोइक एसिड। तो जनरल फार्मूला ROOH। तो रिएक्शन विद कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड्स, रिएक्शन विद कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड्स, that is RCOOH. Alcohol is reactive with carboxylic acids. Alcohol is reactive with monocarboxylic acids in the presence of concentrated H2SO4 or dry hydro-HCl to form corresponding esters. To form corresponding esters. This is also known as esterification. This reaction is also known as esterification of alcohol. This concentrated sulfuric acid acts as a catalyst as well as a dehydrating agent. It acts as a catalyst as well as a dehydrating agent. तो हम रिएक्शन इस तरह लिखेंगे RCOOH, ये कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड है, कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड प्लस R-OH, ये अल्कोहल है, इसको कहते हैं अल्कोहल। इट गिव्स अस, इट इज ए रिवर्सिबल रिएक्शन, concentrated H2SO4 dry HCl तो सॉरी RCOH प्लस HOR डैश, तो ये इस तरह हो जाएगा। यहां हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड ब्रेक होगा, ये बनेगा RCOOR डैश प्लस H2O, इसको कहते हैं एस्टर। तो हम इधर इसको रिप्लेस करेंगे CH3COOH, तो इसको कहेंगे एसिटिक एसिड। दिस इज एन एग्जांपल, एसिटिक एसिड। दिस इज ए जनरल फार्मूला ऑफ कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड, एसिटिक एसिड प्लस HOC2H5, तो इसको कहेंगे इथाइल अल्कोहल। एसिटिक एसिड तो ये इस तरह आएगा, CH3 concentrated H2SO4 प्लस dry HCl, तो ये बनेगा CH3COOC2H5 प्लस H2O। तो हम इसको लिख कहेंगे इथाइल, और यह है एस्टेट, इथाइल acetate, ethyl acetate, and it is an ester. तो Reaction with carboxylic acids. Alcohols react with the monocarboxylic acids in the presence of concentrated sulfuric acid or dry HCl to form car esters. This is also known as esterification of alcohols. This concentrated sulfuric acid acts as a dehydrating agent and as a catalyst. तो हमने लिखा RCOH plus HOR dash. R is the alkyl group which may be ethyl, which may be, this R is also alkyl group which may be ethyl or it may be methyl, etc. तो हम इसको जब रिप्लेस करेंगे CH3 से OCOH, ये बनता है फिर एसिटिक एसिड प्लस इसको कहेंगे C2H5, ये बनता है इथाइल अल्कोहल. जब एसिटिक एसिड प्लस इथाइल अल्कोहल मिलाते हैं, जब इनकी रिएक्शन होती है तो कैटलिस्ट होता है सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड, ये बनाता है इथाइल एस्टेट विच इज एन एस्टर. दिस इज द एस्टरिफिकेशन ऑफ अल्कोहल्स. तो रिएक्शन विद एसिड एंड क्लोराइड्स and acid anhydrides. Reaction with acid chlorides and acid anhydrides. सबसे पहले हम जानेंगे कि एसिड क्लोराइड की जनरल फार्मूला क्या है और एसिड एनहाइड्राइड की जनरल फार्मूला है. ये आपको मैं सिखाऊंगा. RC+OCl RCOCl, ये एसिड, दिस इज एसिड क्लोराइड, ये उसकी जनरल फार्मूला है. तो एसिड एनहाइड्राइड RC+OCl डैश या R. This is acid anhydride. इसको इस तरह भी लिख सकते हैं RCO2O. ये भी acid anhydride. ये इसकी जनरल फार्मूला है. Reaction with acid chlorides and acid anhydride. Alcohols react with acid chlorides and acid anhydrides. Acid chlorides and acid anhydrides and the presence of pyridine. In the presence of pyridine as a catalyst, C5H5N as a catalyst to form corresponding esters. This reaction is also known as acylation. It is also known as this reaction is also known as acylation. तो अब मैं रिएक्शन लिखूंगा. Alcohols on treatment. मैंने कहा alcohols react with acid chlorides and acid anhydrides to form corresponding esters in the presence of pyridine as a catalyst. This reaction is known as acylation. तो acid पहले reaction with acid chlorides. Reaction with acid chlorides यानी RCOCl. तो RCOCl plus HOR dash. This is alcohol. This is acid chloride. और कैटलिस्ट इसका है C5H5N यानी पायरिडीन. तो ये इस तरह हो जाएगा, ये हाइड्रोजन और ये इस तरह मिलेगा, ये निकलेगा RCOOR डैश. इसको कहेंगे हम एस्टर. प्लस निकलेगा HCl. इसको कहते हैं हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड. The alcohols react with acid chlorides to form corresponding esters with the liberation and corresponding acid. For example, RCOC इसको replace करेंगे CH3COCl plus HOR dash HOC2H5. R को इसको replace करेंगे C2H5 से या CH3 से करेंगे तो ये यहां से HCl बनेगा। तो इसका नाम है एसिटाइल क्लोराइड या इथेनॉइल क्लोराइड, एसिटाइल क्लोराइड in the presence of pyridine which acts as a catalyst. In the presence of pyridine तो ये बनेगा CH3COOC2H5, CH3COOC2H5 प्लस HCl। ये इथाइल है और ये एस्टेट है, इसका पूरा नाम है इथाइल एसीटेट, और ये एस्टर है, इट इज एन एस्टर। देन उसके बाद है रिएक्शन विद एसिड क्लोराइड। रिएक्शन विद एसिड एनहाइड्राइड। एसिड क्लोराइड तो हमने कर दिया, एसिड एनहाइड्राइड। तो इसकी जनरल फार्मूला पता है आपको, RC डबल बॉन्ड O C डबल बॉन्ड O C और ये R। तो या हम इस तरह लिख सकते हैं RCO होल ट्वाइस O। तो RC डबल बॉन्ड O, या हम सीधा लिखेंगे एग्जांपल, हम लिखेंगे CH3 C डबल बॉन्ड O C डबल बॉन्ड O CH3। इसका पूरा नाम है एसिटिक एनहाइड्राइड प्लस C2H5। तो C2H5 का मतलब यह है इथाइल अल्कोहल। इथाइल हम या इथाइल अल्कोहल लिख सकते हैं या मिथाइल अल्कोहल लिख सकते हैं, इथाइल अल्कोहल। तो ये इस तरह से रिएक्शन हो जाएगी, ये बनेगा CH3COOC2H5 C5H5N पायरीन। ये बनेगा CH3C डबल बॉन्ड O CH3COOC2H5 ये बनेगा इथाइल एसीटेट। यहां उसने दे दिया था एसिड क्लोराइड के साथ हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड, यहां देगा ये CH3COOH, इसको कहते हैं एसिटिक एसिड, CH3COOH एसिटिक एसिड। This reaction is known as acylation. This reaction is known as acylation. This reaction is known as acylation. तो ये थी reaction of alcohol with acid chlorides and acid anhydrides, or in other words, acylation of alcohols. Acylation of alcohol. Yani when alcohols are treated with acid chlorides or acid anhydrides in the presence of pyridine as a catalyst, they form corresponding esters. This reaction is also known as acylation. It is also known as acylation. So, reaction with halogen acids, that is HCl. Alcohols react with halogen acids. Alcohols react with halogen acids in the presence of anhydrous zinc chloride. Anhydrous in chemistry, anhydrous means without water. Anhydrous to form corresponding alkyl halide. For example, methanol plus HCl. It gives in the presence of anhydrous zinc chloride, it gives CH3Cl. इसको कहते हैं chloromethanes, which is corresponding haloalkane. methane plus H2O. Yani alcohols react with HCl in the presence of anhydrous zinc chloride. To form corresponding haloalkane. For example, methyl alcohol reacts with HCl to form methyl chloromethane plus water. So similarly, ethyl alcohol reacts with HCl. It gives, in the presence of anhydrous zinc chloride, it gives C2H5Cl plus H2O go chloroethane. These are some properties of the chemical and physical properties of the alcohols. Tomorrow we will deal with the other properties of the alcohols. So today we will not go forward. तो कल से हम और प्रॉपर्टीज इसकी पढ़ेंगे. तो आज मैंने आपको पढ़ा है कि फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज क्या होती हैं, यानी इसकी क्या क्या फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज है. मैंने कहा कि द लोअर मेंबर्स ऑफ द अल्कोहल्स आर कलरलेस लिक्विड्स with a characteristic smell and burning taste, whereas the higher members of the alcohols are colorless, odorless, wax-like solids. They have low boiling points, but with the increase in their molecular mass, their boiling point increases. तो प्रॉपर केमिकल प्रॉपर्टीज में सबसे पहले मैंने आपको पढ़ा है एसिडिक कैरेक्टर ऑफ अल्कोहल्स. मैंने कहा alcohols are acidic and weakly acidic in nature, therefore they react with the active metals to form corresponding alkoxides with the liberation of hydrogen. The acidic nature of alcohols is, दोबारा मैं repeat करता हूं, the acidic nature of alcohols is due to the presence of polar OH bond, oxygen-hydrogen bond, due to the presence of polar oxygen-hydrogen bond. Since oxygen is more electronegative than the hydrogen, therefore the shared pair of electrons between oxygen and hydrogen is drawn more towards the oxygen. As a result of it, the bond between oxygen and hydrogen becomes weak and hydrogen is released. This shows that the alcohols are acidic in nature. Then उसके बाद मैंने आपको ये reaction with carboxylic acids, carboxylic acid, alcohols react with the carboxylic acids in the presence of concentrated sulfuric acid or dry hydrochloric acid to form corresponding esters. Therefore, this reaction is also known as esterification of alcohols. This concentrated sulfuric acid acts as a dehydrating agent as well as a catalyst. तो एग्जाम्पल्स मैंने आपको लिखी, रिएक्शंस भी लिखी. तो उसके बाद एसिड क्लोराइड्स एंड एसिड एनहाइड्राइड्स, alcohols react with the acid chlorides and acid anhydrides in the presence of pyridine as a catalyst to form corresponding esters. This reaction is also known as acylation. This is the end of the topic today, and the rest of the properties will be studied by tomorrow. Okay.